And boom, we are live. What's going on, guys? Welcome in. Take a seat and get comfortable. Hope you're all having an absolutely fantastic day so far. So this is kind of, as you may have noticed, I've got a rather handsome friend with me today. You might not know this guy, but I know him as a good friend of mine, G. None other than G, the drummer from The Head of the Traitor. He's going to be I guess this is kind of like the first unofficial podcast episode type thing, but yeah, me and G have been talking about this for a wee while. I broached the idea to him and I was like, we should do this, and then it took a really long time to do, but yeah, G, welcome to the podcast, man. How you doing?
Thanks for having me, mate. You let you sit up there, look at all the jet. I like it.
I don't know if I'd say that. Yeah. Let me put it this way: there's a reason that I've got the blur background thing on. Basically, let me put it like that, because this is not the Joe Rogan podcast. So
I thought there was like some nudity or sex and drugs or violence going on in the background that you had to maybe.
no, there isn't actually a live sex show going on behind me. Unfortunately, I pulled some strings, but I couldn't actually get it fucking going. Unfortunately, dude. But it's just the way. It is a bastard. So, story time. I became aware of your band, The Head of the Traitor, when I heard, is it Forest of the Impaled? Was that your first single?
Aye. Yeah.
Aye, I heard that, and
Fucking year and a half ago.
I think it was, man. I think it was. Yeah, I heard that song, and I thought it was good. It didn't completely blow me away, but I thought this is decent. It's got it's kind of fun. It's a little bit unique. It's like it's got the symphonic elements going through it. Like, I liked it, and then I scrolled down on Slam, and I saw Scotland, and I thought, oh, hold on a fucking second here. This could be interesting. Let's fucking go. And then how did it end up going? Did I do a shout out video for you guys, or did I reach out and then you sent me a t-shirt? Like, can you remember what happened? Because I'm drawing a fucking blank.
I don't know. Even I remember in your video, you just like, I don't know who reached out and who done what, but it just happened.
It just happened.
I don't know if it was Tony or it wasn't myself, but I just remember watching it and seeing the video and being like, oh, nice. And then I liked the fact you were kind of pretty much just like, I don't give a fuck that they're Scottish. I'll take it for what it is. It means nothing. And I'm just like, yeah, very true. And then when the intro started, you're just like, fine, love it, sound, love it.
Yeah, well, I think...
well, you're the first person to ever react to anything, and the first person I've like seen like a reaction video to for the band. You know what I mean? You're the first one, and it was just cool to have that and be like, alright, cool. I could watch a stranger react to shit. It was cool, man.
Yeah, man. Well, this is
a genuine one.
Sorry, say that again?
And like a genuine one, you know what I mean? Not like a bum kissing one or anything like that, as you said.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we're 3.5 minutes into the podcast. I don't want to start throwing shade at anyone, but there's definitely some reaction video guys out there who just dive about and get really excited, but it seems like they would get excited for anything.
High five a cheeseburger coming to the table.
Well, yeah, exactly. And like the thing with me is that there's been a few times where I'll hit the record button, halfway through the song I'll not like it, and then I'll just stop recording and then just go off and do another reaction video. I'm not gonna, but you know what I mean. I'm not here to kiss anyone's arse, but I'm not gonna shit on anyone either. You know what I mean? That doesn't.
Well, that's the funny thing as well. That's what folk love to see. You know what I mean? Folk love that sort of shit. A bit of hate, a bit of something. Everyone would be all over that, giving their fucking piece in.
Dude, God, holy shit! I could do a lot more videos talking shit about some of the crap that I hear than the good stuff. There's a lot of bad stuff out there. Are you aware of a YouTube channel called Gore Grinder?
Mm-mm.
Nah, Gore Grinder is absolutely mental. They do gore grind, they do like death grind, noisecore, like all that type of stuff, and they seem to just have they have literally no bar like for quality whatsoever. They'll just anything that gets sent in.
Bang it out.
I don't mind some gore grind, like it's okay, but some of it sounds like what like old people think deathcore sounds like it's just noise where a guy apparently doing vocals, but it just sounds like like literally just like a toilet. There's no lyrics or anything.
I think the only shit I've listened to like that from back in the day was Berserker.
Was it?
You
Oh,
remember them?
dude,
Got that,
I've got a
with, like
Berserker
the
t-shirt.
dreads and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was fucking insane. But that was too much
yeah. I
for me.
listened. I went to see the Berserker in Glasgow. I think it was a venue. I think it was called Ivory Blacks.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't
That's one.
know. I don't know if that's still a. I don't know if that's still a
Yeah,
venue.
yeah, yeah. We've played in there, man. That's still going. Still the same dude that's running it as well, man.
Oh, that's cool. That's
Yeah,
cool. I
cool
like
guy.
that. Yeah, no, the Berserker were. Aye, they're pretty mad. I got a T-shirt from them actually. That was that's.
There's only like three of them or something.
I think so.
It's like us drummer singer in it.
I think so.
That was insane.
Yeah, that's
That's the first time I saw like for like a drumming terminology, the gravity blasts. Like just a crazy hyper, just like a roll with one hand,
yep.
basically, and just heavy electronic and industrial kind of sounding. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've not heard too many other bands like the Berserker, to be honest.
Yeah, that was
I listened to a fair
a
bit of shit. Yeah, I sort of like them. I think there's a track by them called Cannibal Rights. That's really really good. But there's one called Reality, and there's a mad video on YouTube where it's the drummer actually playing it live, and it's just a blur, just a fucking blur. Like I don't know if he's actually legitimately doing it because it sounds so digitalized. But if he is, he's a
uh,
fucking animal. Mm.
uh, well, that's
Uh,
something you can do. So that was the first time I heard some like that crazy drumming. But even some of the stuff I listened to, like when I first heard Whitechapel, their first album, and first heard Despised Icon,
mm.
and kind of but just when deathcore was starting to come around,
Aye.
it was still a little bit too heavy for me. And my old singer in an old band, he was a fan of like pig squeals and different stuff, but I was still like, I'm not quite sold to there yet.
Yeah.
And then it was kind of more Carnifex that kind of brought it more. And then Whitechapel's second album, and I'm just like, right, cool. And then I was fucking right into it, man. See, when
Yeah.
I was younger, I was like, starting off with like little the basics of metal and shit like that, and then growing into liking a few more things.
Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah. Just to take it back, I remember the first reaction video I did to the beginning, featuring was it Alex Ives or something like that?
Yeah,
Is that the guy?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, big Alex.
I was slightly shitting it because whenever I've spoke to a band, and then like I want to react to their stuff, I'm fucking praying that it's not shit because I was just like, please, I don't even believe in God, but I was like, please, for fuck's sake, let this be good. And then, yeah, within the first, I don't know, like 30 seconds, I was like, yeah, it's the chorus with the tremolo picking. It's just,
Alright.
it does
I thought
things to me,
even
man.
it came out of nowhere, that song, and the fact of like how long it is as well. Even now, when we practice it and different things, we're like, man, why did we write such a fucking long song? But it
Yeah.
is what it is. It came out the way it came out, and there's nothing too repetitive in that. Everything's got its fucking place, and it's just constant blasting, and that it was just a monster. So it was.
Yeah, the
And the funny thing
breakdown.
was,
Sorry, go on.
that had been around for a while. The the last song we actually wrote was The Forest. But that
Hmm.
just came out of nowhere, and then we're like, okay, let's get that done, and that got sent out first.
Right.
And all the other songs that we've got were pretty sure they were all already there.
Yeah.
Maybe missing like one, but yeah, they got
Yeah.
done pretty rapid.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I prefer Forest of the Impaled live because obviously for everyone, like for everyone, that
Same, same.
everyone that's watching, all five people that will see this or something, you know. I've seen you guys play. Is it 4 times now, or is it 3?
Monasteries.
That thrash band.
another one. There's
And
a
then
thrash band on.
I can't remember what they were called. Deicide? No, not Deicide. They're fucking old school. I can't remember the name of that band. That's going to drive me mental now. It was a
Not
band's.
sure.
It was a band's album launch.
Oh, Diminiside.
Diminicide. Thank you. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Aye,
Diminicide.
The 3 times involved in it, which was good times.
Involved in it. That was a fucking good gig, man. That was a
Good
good
times.
gig. That was a very, very good gig. Yeah, yeah. It's not. It'll be weird when you guys, when I actually check out your EP because I've heard it all. Like I've heard it all live. You know what I mean? Like I dig the fuck out of it, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to translate onto CD. You know, like I don't know. I think it's gonna, but yeah, live you guys are tight as fuck.
It definitely does. We've had our wee issues with the EP and that, and some of it isn't exactly where we wanted it to be, but we needed just to get it out the fucking door and get it done and move on to the next shit. But especially if you're like, I mean, people who've got like a musical ear and stuff, you could hear it for what it is. You know what I mean? Any wee
Yeah.
mistakes, any different things. But to me as well, the best it sounds is live. Like same with me, like I can listen to the Forest on the EP and different things, but live it's a whole different.
Yeah.
It just hits differently, man. That chorus and shit is good,
It is.
and the lights just get better and tighter, and the sound, and we're starting to have little fucking. I will. Mate, everyone was always reviewing themselves. Like, see after the gig and that, we'll all sit and watch the videos back and be like, just check everything, make sure everything was tight, and yeah, it was good, man.
Yeah, most of the time, the guitars aren't loud enough. Generally speaking, I don't know. It's not my place to actually go up to the sound man and go, "Yo, can you just make him louder?" Like, because it's not my place to actually do that. And I know sound guys don't like being told that, but it's a bit frustrating when I'm standing there because I know all your material and I know what it's more or less what it's supposed to sound like, and I'm just thinking, could you just turn that fucking guy's guitar up? I just can't hear it at all. Like it's kind of frustrating.
And sometimes even with Craig, when Craig's doing backing vocals, we're like, yeah, I could probably turn him up a wee bit. But it's funny sometimes because Craig's really loud, but he projects loudly.
Mm-hmm.
There's points where he doesn't really even need a mic, and you can hear him just shouting on the stage, like roaring over the top of like all the noise, all the raw noise. You can still hear him shouting, man.
He's a
Um,
character.
uh, uh,
He is a character. When he would at the Vulvadinia gig, you guys were like sound checking, and he was singing "Ain't No Sunshine" by Bill Withers, and
yeah, yeah.
he was just doing that, and I was just looking at him going, is he actually doing that at a metal show? You know, like he doesn't give a fuck. I loved it. I was fucking
No, Craig
falling
is
about.
so chill. Like, Craig will sit and chill himself and do like play a little bit of acoustic guitar, and he's total different vibes in this band. You know what I mean? Like he always loves metal and had his roots within like metal and the Black Dahlia Murder and like lots of bands back in the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
New metal wave of bands.
yeah.
And then he kind of like dropped away from that music. He listens to whatever he wants. You know what I mean? He likes what he likes.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is like the heaviest shit ever, and he loves it. He's into it because at first he's always done vocals anyway. Before, like he's never done the keyboards or anything like that. It's all brand new to him.
Yeah.
Um, so when he hopped on doing the keyboards, we were always kind of just like, when you gonna, when's he gonna start screaming? When the vocals gonna start coming out? It was like before we had a singer, and then we got Darren, and then bit by bit by bit, Craig started doing a bit more and a bit more, and then you can see he's into it to the point where he's after a practice or a gig and that he's fucking buzzing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like, I love that shit, and he's getting right into it again. So it's good, man. To always
Yeah.
have those dual layers on stage.
Nah, well, I mean, speaking of Darren, I think I've said this about 2 or 3 times, and I really don't want it to sound disrespectful, but for such a guy of short stature, shall we say, you wouldn't expect him to give such a guttural, low style of metal vocals. Like, I thought he would be like a bit higher, maybe a wee bit fry, a bit goblin, but like every time I see him play live, I'm like, what the where the fuck is this coming from? Like, it's
I,
so
I'm the
impressive.
same. I love it, and even when like you just well, they done an interview the other day with Ricky, and that's Remorseful Times, and Dan was talking about the same with his vocals, and Ricky's talking about how he's gotten better. And it's not as if he was bad to begin with, but it's just the fact that he just get better and better and better. Stage presence and just everything. Because this is his, I mean, he's new to this shit. This
Mm.
is his first kind of, he's been in, was the first gig he ever played was with us and stuff like that. So
Whoa.
it's all new to him. And he keeps on trying to do I feel like try this technique, try that technique. I mean, just now I think he's working on tunnels, doing his tunnel vocals.
Oh, tunnels, right? Nice.
And even when we started jamming with him, he was kind of like sort of medium fry screams kind of stuff were a bit of low, and they were like, "Can you try some of those? Can you try this?" And he just came in and done that. And that's the funny thing is like the recording of him now on the EP, because Dan was like one of the first ones to record his fucking parts.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was like Dan from like a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Like his vocal now, we recently done. Not too sure when it's coming out, but we've done like a cover song of "Waking the Cadaver," I think. Like a really old deathcore song.
Right.
We'd done it from like 2007 or something.
Oh shit.
We made it like our own. Added all our wee bits to it, and I Dan sounds fucking mental on that. Like I had to double check in the chat and be like, "Is that down? Who's that? Is that down?" And they're like, "Aye." And that was again with it getting mastered and done by Tony. And Tony done a really good job in that cover songs. Hopefully that will come out soon because that's fucking cool.
Yeah, that would
I
be yeah.
don't know, sent you that much shit.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, no, it's yeah, no, it's fucking awesome, dude. Yeah, I might have said this to you already. I think I probably have, but I came very, very close to having a whitey. The first time I met you guys.
Uh,
It was you, me, and your awesome wife. We're around the
yeah,
back of whatever, and you,
the Priceless Lazies.
yeah, and you passed me something, and I was like, all right, cool. And I was thinking I was a big man. I was like, yeah, fucking did a reaction video hanging out with the band, and then I started to feel my heartbeat, like, dum, dum,
Dope.
dum. And I was like, Denny spew, Denny spew, and there's a wee voice in my head, Denny be sick, and I was like, I'm not gonna be sick, I'm not gonna be sick, and I was like, Denny fucking spew, because there was a vision in my head of me just spewing on your fucking wife or some shit. I was like, oh, Denny,
Don't be making those kind of impressions.
don't don't fucking do this, because I was already nervous as fuck anyways. I was like, oh, do not do this.
Oh, that's funny, man. Well,
But
it went smooth.
hey
Didn't
man,
everything's fine.
I didn't whitey, but I mean, but like a similar thing happened at the Volvadinia gig though, eh? So like, yeah,
I was in my fault. Pint glass that time.
that was pint glass. Yeah, I didn't even realize it at the time. It was quite funny actually. Tony said, yeah, I was chatting to this guy, really intense big guy with a mustache, smoking a massive joint, and I was like, all right, okay. And then me being the nugget that I am, I end up meeting a guy, big tall guy, mustache, smoking a massive joint, and I didn't put the two together, and I'm like trying my luck because I'm as wide as the Clyde, and I went, can I have a wee bit of that? And he was like, yeah, mate, yeah, sure, yeah. Just talking away, and I thought, all right, okay, so he's talking it fairly well. I had about 3 tokes, and I was fucking fleeing for the full gig, but like fleeing to the point, like, because I've got like decent tolerance, but I was like, what the fuck? Like, just don't know what the fuck was in that, like fucking rocket fuel or some bullshit, man.
Oh no, it's gonna be anything.
Mm. So how? Why drums? There's a lot of instruments out there. There's a lot of different things that you can do with extreme metal. Why and how did you start being a drummer?
Yeah, that kind of came about because I was actually playing bass first.
Oh, bass, right?
Um,
Okay.
yeah, in whatever year it was, first year, whatever, in
Hmm.
school. Just picked up a bass, had a little shot of it, and I was like, this is alright, kind of like this. And then one of my old pals also bought a bass, and started to play bass. So we were both playing bass, but he was fucking really good at it. And he wouldn't. And I'd go around to his bit and like, can you show me this? Like, rearranged from Biscuit.
Yes, yeah, I do. I think so. Limp Bizkit have got good bass lines. I know that much. Yeah.
So I was like, can you show me that? And there's all around the world, Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh, right.
I was
Okay.
like, he's sitting just picking up all that kind of shit in no time. And I'm just like,
Whoa.
how did you play that? How'd you do that? And the cunt wouldn't even show me. Like,
Right.
I'm trying to turn his back. He wouldn't even kind of show me how to play bass. And after like a while, I was like, man, fuck this. Then I'm not playing bass. I'll play drums. Like,
Right.
I'll play some drums. I'll try and hit drums. Um, and then that's how that picked up. And then it was like, kept my kit down at his house, and I really played it. It was just kind of mucking about and hitting stuff and trying to play like old Deftones and
Oh,
um,
Deftones. Nice.
Limp Bizkit and shit like that. But stuff I just couldn't play because I didn't know fuck all. It was just whatever I learned in school, like mummy, daddy stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like dum dum dum
Dum
dum.
dum dum. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. And then um, that's how I got onto that eventually. But I was shite on the drums. I couldn't play anything. And then I started jamming with another friend, and I kept my drums in his bit as well.
Right.
So I'd go down there to play, and that was like Green Day, Offspring, Blink 182,
Mm-hmm.
those kind of vibes. And I remember going down and trying to play like Blink 182 and stuff, and I just couldn't do it. And then after a while, I got kind of like just pissed off with it, and I was like, ah, fuck it. I didn't play my drums for like months. And then my friend was like, oh, there's another drummer guy coming down to my bit, and some other people, just people hanging out, just, you know what I mean, fucking around.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, come down if you want, man. And then I went down, and another guy who could play drums, an older guy, I sat and watched him play
Mm-hmm.
Rock by Blink 182.
Love it.
And yeah, so I sat and just watched him play it. Then after he finished playing, I was just like, is that it? Is that all there is to it? I was okay. And I sat and watched him another couple of times. And then I sat down and just, yeah, started to play bits of it. And then started to put it all together. Before you know it, I could play it. And then, yeah, and then that was the kind of pop punky stuff. I'll still listen to metal. I wasn't like a pop punk
Yeah.
person. I like Blink 182 was, you know what I mean, all the small things and all that shit
Yep.
was huge. And other bands like I liked Offspring, but I couldn't play. I never thought of playing any sort of heavy stuff. Obviously, I'd like Limp Bizkit, Deftones, that in my head, do sit and play
Mm-hmm.
Sepultura, and think that I could play Slipknot and stuff. But I just started off like that really until I don't know how long after playing drums, maybe a year, maybe a year and a half. Went to America and bought a double bass pedal and a China,
Right.
like sort of upside down cymbal, the really thrashy, trashy sounding one.
Yep.
So I got a double pedal and a China, and then when I came back home, it was like double bass time. So I learned Fear Factory, T Manufacture album,
Okay.
and Slayer, God Hates Us All.
Right.
The
Nice.
two albums was how I learned to play, just listening. You know what I mean? Was how I learned to play double bass and trying to play those kind of songs. And then, yeah, that was it. Then heavier and heavier and different stuff, and trying to play a bit of everything.
So if
And if
that
you
so if
so
that
much
guy
heavy,
so if that guy had taught you how to play Red Hot Chili Peppers, you might have been a bass player then. That's what it sounds like to me.
you're hanging a bit like that all day.
And a
You know what I
bit.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you really want to be a bass player in a deathcore band because a lot of the time you can't fucking hear the bass at all. It's just drowned out, in my opinion,
Unless you,
anyway.
aye, for sure. Unless you're like something specifically mental with like some slapping and mad techniques and stuff. But I, as an overall, I just kind of just there to thicken stuff up really. But yeah, and
I,
obviously, uh, drums is where it's at. I mean, I love hitting shit. Brilliant.
yeah, I mean, I always personally think that if you've got two guitars that are down tuned to drop G, that's probably all the thick that you need for your sound. I'm not sure you need a bass in there as well. Um,
Some days, obviously, with some bands, if you're doing like a certain section, like it's only the bass, like bass, drums, and vocals, leading that a couple of bars, or the bass comes in with like an effect on it or some kind of shit. But
yeah, you need that. Yeah, that was always something that bothered me. Well, not bothered me, but kind of like because I used to play bass as well. But just like like just like a standard bass, it's kind of got that boom, 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 like kind of sound to it. But if I'd had like a wee bit more knowledge and like an effects pedal, giving it that more kind of scratchy,
yes,
like um, scratchy kind of like Varial style sound, I probably would have probably would have stuck with it because I think that really really works. There's a
I
band
did. Well,
called. Mhm.
well, that guy was talking about the bassist guy had like a thing called a pod back
Mhm.
in the day, just like a wee effects pedal, and he had that and just be able to go through different effects and stuff made a difference to having that standard fucking sound of just plug it in. I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's not really. You feel like you're doing a GCSE like bass
I
fucking.
didn't really feel like you could explore really anywhere. You've kind of got your well, obviously you've got your notes. You can do what you can do with it, but it's just if you want to play metal or different shit, it's not the sound tone you're after.
Not really. Not really. No, but I mean, in terms of influences, though, going back to that, I mean, like if you're gonna learn drums of something like Blink-182, like Travis, he can play. Like he's
Well,
pretty fucking decent.
you can play a snare drum. That's
He
all
can
I'll say.
he can play a snare drum. Oh wow!
It
Is that a little bit of shade I sense there, Mister G?
is indeed, mate. It is indeed.
It is indeed.
For all the
Elaborate,
Blink 182 fans that we are.
elaborate, elaborate.
No, just for me, he's never been like for me one of my favourite drummers in that. I don't know. Fucking launched you there.
Yeah, don't do that.
He's never been one of my favourite drummers at all, man. But he's all about that snare drum rudiments and just like see when you like when I actually got to play drums,
Hmm.
and then I was playing his stuff and his drum solos and that. There's not much to it.
Wow. See that kind of.
Same when I became older. I was like, obviously when I was younger, I was like Slipknot, Joey. Joey's amazing. Joey's a tits. And then when I got to playing actually learning Slipknot drum beats, I'm like, it's alright. He's good, but he was never my like holy fuck. He was the best. Just because he was obviously part of that machine, he wouldn't have been nearly as big a famous a drummer if he wasn't a part of Slipknot. You know what I mean?
That's That's an interesting point actually. I mean, that kind of shows how little I know about drumming because I always kind of thought like Joey and guys like Travis were kind of like the like I thought they were kind of like the elite of the elite. Who are your favorite drummers? Who do you think is the best or some of the best anyway?
Can't even pinpoint it down. One guy I love is like Paul Bostaph and Dave Lombardo, Slayer's drummers,
Right, Lombardo. Yeah, yeah.
because um, and the work that they've done with other thrash bands and shit. Um, one of the that's something I've always I can take each band for their own drummer personally, but what I'd say I took a bit of influence from as well as Slayer and Faith Factory. That was kind of like the roots thing.
Right.
And then after Slayer and Faith Factory, I can play anything. I'll be playing Arch Enemy, I'll be playing fucking Slipknot, I'll play Korn, I'll play Static X, I'll play Disturbed, I'll play Mudvayne, I'll play anything. But then it was, I don't know how you say his second name, I think it's Dirk Verburen or something. He was old drummer for Soilwork.
Right. Soil
But
work. Yeah.
The old Soilwork was just brilliant, and if you listen to his drum beats, it's just, don't know, you feel like it almost shouldn't. You feel like if you were just to hear the drums on their own, you wouldn't be like, oh, that's metal, unless you maybe heard double bass or something, because he's just got all the little splash and bells
Right.
and accents, and that's when I first kind of learned just that kind of stuff. Plus, I mean, I used to just play covers like fuck. I'd sit and play full albums and full everything. You know what I mean? I just sit and learn tons of different stuff. So obviously, the same with guitar. If you're playing a certain style for ages, then you kind of write that way. Like when Lamb of God fucking Redneck came out, the old band I was in, everyone's be like, wow, bigadoo, bigadoo, and all that sort of stuff. And every riff that's coming into the studio is just like, it might as well be fucking Lamb of God. And then every singer in that moment in time seemed like they had that fucking row
Yeah.
thing about
Wow.
them. You know? But it's just like, oh fuck, man.
Yeah.
So I always stay away from being like too involved into certain bands where all my shit just sounds like whatever I've been listening to that week.
Yeah, I imagine. Yeah, I imagine that must be quite difficult to do. I mean, I totally. That is a funny story about everyone sounding like Lamb of God, but I do remember when Lamb of God were actually dropping all those albums, and I remember at the time I was like, "This is fucking phenomenal!" Like I was just blown away,
Listen,
blown
you're about the
away.
same age as me, so you go back. I can remember like One Gun and stuff like that, and when it's like Blood of the Scribe and like the first couple albums before Redneck came about, because that was a whole different Lamb of God from
Yeah,
Redneck onwards. You know what I mean?
the first track I heard, "Laid to Rest." That was the
Or
first
like
song.
America, yeah, like the rest exactly, man. Like my head, it's like, ooh, go.
Immediately, I was like, "Oh, I
So
definitely want some more of this."
I was actually listening to some Lamb of God recently, and I was just like, oh shit, I think I actually took a bit from them back in the day when I used to play a lot of him, because his fills and stuff could be similar to mine when it's all repeated.
Right.
And all that shit, spells and splashes and all that. And that's when I kind of learned how to do rolls with my feet. It's like ticka 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 ticka
Right.
ticka,
Right.
all that kind of stuff, because Lamb of God is just full of rolls on the feet. So yeah, but the only shit thing is, like recently over the years, I've not had anything to like have anywhere to practice or to play. So it'd be like once a month, once every fucking 2 months. As of lately, that I can get to play drums or do anything, I'd love to just play them every day. You know what I mean? But hopefully I'll get that sorted next year. I'll figure something out.
Yeah, that's a
Actually,
bummer.
because I used to obviously be able to play every day, and it doesn't feel like anything. But I wouldn't like. Oh no, man! I never took it like seriously. I'm not going to sit in and learn like the rudiments and techniques and stuff. Like I know myself, I could be so much further on as a drummer,
Right.
but I enjoy doing what I'm doing and just hitting stuff and shit. And if folk enjoy it and folk come up to me and say whatever, then that's cool. If someone comes up and tries to get like technical and stuff to me, then I'll do that, because I didn't even know some of the technicalities in that. When I went to oh, I'm going all over the place. But just, I mean, when I went to college,
Just go, mate.
um,
Go. Just talk.
when I went to college and I had to learn all the kind of, I mean, technical stuff and rudiments and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I had to sit and play like Back and Black by AC/DC,
Mm-hmm.
Black Dog, Led Zeppelin, and not add anything in, play it exactly the way it is. And every so often I'd sit and just get carried away, just add a wee beat or something, and just like, no, even though it's like in time and shit like that, I'd just be adding stuff. And it's like, no, you've got to play it like this, you've got to play it like that. And that was kind of like, nah, fuck this as well. I played this for the freedom of it all. I get it. If that's what I'm going to be, like a regimented session drummer who's got no fucking soul and no personality, and you're just like
Miserable.
talking about technical fucking Latin pish to me. I can't do it. Like some of the, like for instance, well, a big influence would have been Vinnie Paul for Pantera.
Right.
And when I'm watching and listening to any fucking interviews or listening to play drums, I'm not talking about all the rudiments and all the technical shit. They're just hitting drums and just coming up with little patterns like a beast. And because I always thought that as well, like certain drum lines. Well, I don't know if they're just for me, but everyone kind of knows, like, the Korn song "Blind."
I certainly do.
And it just starts off with that ride, like, It's all you need to hear. All you
Boom,
need to
boom,
hear,
boom,
and
boom.
you just know what's happening. It's not as if you need to. I could teach anyone. It's not as if you don't. No one can go like ding 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 ding.
Yeah,
Not exactly too technical. You know what I mean? But like that in itself, I'm just like genius, genius
yeah.
little Pete.
That
It's,
that album, that yeah, that changed the game for a lot of
uh,
people. I think just in terms of how fucking heavy new metal could be, like
well, I
because
was just
that
always like, that was just bonkers. What was that like 96, 98?
ooh, I'm actually gonna
Yeah, maybe 96.
actually
I think.
I think I'm gonna have to. Have you seen that they played at Woodstock? Like as
Yeah, I
much.
saw that fucking Netflix thing. Man, you watch that?
No, I've seen
No.
I've seen I saw them playing Blind, and it's easily one of the mentalist crowds I've ever seen in my fucking life. It's like a wave.
Yeah. Actually, like, wave of people. Well, there was a mixed up with a documentary on Netflix about that Woodstock, the '99 one, and it looked fucking bonkers, man. And that's just how it started. Obviously, blind, and then fucking, are you ready? And everyone's like, yes, sir, I'm
Yes,
fucking ready.
dude. Blind. A rudimentary search here. Apparently, it came out in 1994.
There you go, then, mate. Even sooner. Yeah,
That's fucking mental.
aye.
94.
Because the first time I heard Con was whatever came first. Issues of Follow the Leader. I think it was Follow the Leader.
That's
Issues 19. Maybe issues then. One of those two albums. That
yeah.
was the first, and obviously I went straight away to the back catalogue. I'd done it with a few bands when I was younger. Like when you get into them, and you'd be like, "Oh shit!" Like it was not like Fear Factory, for instance. When I got into them with uh, Demanufacturing, and then going back to the old albums, but like the first two Fear Factory albums is a total different band. Like and recording from like the '80s and stuff, and it's very much like death metal. It hasn't really got that Fear Factory sound to it, and you're just like, "The fuck is this?"
Yeah. Yeah. So
When
yeah.
you like the people evolve and grow, you can go back to like when you hear like a Slipknot demo, if you're on like Make Feed Kill Repeat, and it breaks down to a fucking jazz section, and it's like, "Come on, yo!" Woo! And there's like bass playing and stuff like that. It's like that was Slipknot at that
I've
point.
I've not heard that for a while. I don't even remember that part. But yes, yeah,
And
Slipknot,
for some
Slipknot.
reason, it's always imprinted in my head, and I'm just like, "What the fuck?" And it's obviously the old singer as well, and I was just like, "What the fuck is this?" And then it became what it became. And it's just like, all right, cool. You've got to start somewhere.
Slipknot's self-titled album, the one they did, but I think it was the one they did before Iowa. That's one of my favorite albums of all time.
Like, the only one. But I was sitting go back the other day, and I'm sitting listening to like songs like only one. Was it diluted and stuff like that? Only
Yep.
one of the fucking get this. Eeyore, like yeah. First, I remember when the second when Iowa came out, like I pre-ordered it in like our price. I think
Right.
when like someone like that, you know what I mean, like fucking Argos kind of shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pre-ordered the CD. I went in after school to go get it, and then I went down the beach and had my CD player and that, and I sit and listened to it. And then some of the older moshers came, someone who I eventually later was in a band with, and came and was like, "Oh, is that new stuff?" I was like, "Yeah, just out today and that." You know what I mean? We teensy mosher, listened away to it. I was kind of just like, "Uh, all right." And the songs that I liked, like obviously I liked Mike Plague straight away, but then it came out and Resident Evil. Well, first of all, Resident Evil was shit. When it came out, you ruined that. That wasn't you fucked that.
Yep.
And then you've got like an edited version of the song, and then it goes along with it, and then it seemed a bit mainstream, and I was like, And then I went to see Slipknot in 2001,
Right.
whenever fucking just after Iowa came out anyway. Um, and that's when I got put off them because I was expecting like madness. And meant fair enough, you had said the jumping off stuff. Everyone sat down during fucking spit it out. There was a few different things. I was like, yeah, it was cool. the things on the drums on the razors and stuff. But when you saw like old videos and hearing stories about what they'd done, like going about with like a dead crow in a jar and making each other whitey and like kicking fuck at each other and just going just mental. But then obviously now we're older and hearing the fucking interviews and that's like, oh, that's when we were angry and you know what I mean, they calmed down and mellowed out. It's like for me, I'm just just stayed fucking angry.
Yeah, you want to see the
Because
clown set and Sid on fire on stage and shit like
yeah,
that.
I just want to see mayhem, and then it was Slipknot, American Head Charge,
Hmm.
1 minute silence, and In Flames.
Oh, in Flames.
And
Nice.
so
Nice.
American Head Charge was the first band to come on, and they just stole it, man. They fucking stole the whole thing. They fucking were amazing, and they were mental on stage. They were going bonkers. That was the first time I ever seen like keyboards on like a spring that you'd get in like a kids' play park and that. So the keyboards are fucking
I think
bobbing all over the place
I've
and
seen
shit like that.
I think I've seen Ramstein do that.
Yeah, Ramstein, Manson, and a few folk have, you know what I mean,
Yep.
like done it. But they were the first ones I saw with that, and they had 7 members, and it was amazing. And the fucking backdrop was just a big, huge fucking tank
Right.
with the American Head Charge logo, and this one of the guitarists that died or killed himself, one of the original ones. He was mental. He was going about going crazy. At one point, he headbutted the drum and cymbal and just sliced his head and was just pissing blood and just cracked on with it. And I'm just like, this is what I'm liking. And then 1 minute silence came on, which was just insane. It was so good. It gives me goosebumps. It was so fucking good. And then the Flames were really good as well. And then Slipknot, I was just like, after all the bands I've just seen, you didn't
Just
live up to the hype, man.
didn't live up. Nah, that's a bummer, man. That's a bummer. I don't I didn't go off Slipknot because they got like lighter and started to put more clean vocals into their music, because they had clean vocals like right from like, you know, near the start. I just thought
And rapping and shit as well. They had all that
yeah,
stuff in there.
yeah, like I thought that was all fucking amazing, you know what I mean? But I actually just think their music got a bit formulaic, basically. That's why I stopped listening to it later on. It was like
Well,
later on in the career, I was like, this is just kind of just, it sounds kind of like exactly what they released before, you know?
after Iowa, I can't tell you anything really. The few songs on because I've heard them to death. Like going out places here and like whatever psychosocial and different songs like that, but it's not something I was into. And I had like I was mad at them. I had some really old posters. I
Mm.
went to like the slip signing
Oh
before the gig.
wow.
There was a signing in Virgin Megastores,
Hmm.
and I've got a symbol signed by everyone, apart from Corey, because I got him to sign, which I didn't know at the time. I was away in London, New York, or something. I was a wee guy on a school trip,
Hmm.
and I got like a bootleg CD. It was called Liberating Manchester,
Right.
and I didn't know anything about fake things. It was just live in Manchester, the full first album, the full set.
Hmm.
I got him to sign that, and even when I gave him, he's kind of like, "Where'd you get this?" And I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, in New York." I was all right. Put a fucking number 8 on it, signed it, gave it back to me. Then obviously when I'm older, I'm just like, I've just I've just handed you some absolute fake bullshit guff. You know what I mean? Like, just like, you want to sign that, please? Like, that'd been like getting James Hetfield to sign like my Napster T-shirt back in the day when
That
all that
is
was going on. I mean, like, this just would have been a bad reaction, but he took it fine. But the
co-
first person I saw was Clown, and I gave him a symbol, and then he just stood up with my symbol and just went around the side of the desk and just fucking dropped it on the ground, and it made like a crazy, just obviously, and I'm just like, what the fuck? I just picked my symbol back up and then gave it back to them, and then they signed it. And I was just like, just done that to get a reaction and make folks shit themselves and that, but he just stood up and he just went out and picked up my symbol and just walked around and just fucking held it as high as he could and just dropped it. And I'm just kind of like, you've broke it. Obviously, he knows more about symbols than I do, and that's not going to do anything.
that's the most Slipknot thing I think I've ever heard in my life. Just doing
Yeah, well,
random shit.
Yeah, that was me getting built up for the gig, being like, "Oh, this is going to be a good gig." You know what I mean, you're already kicking fucking my cymbal gig, so you can start yet.
Aye,
Just it should be a good night.
aye,
But
this is gonna get fucking mad.
I and I just kind of missed out on that the years when it was like they're playing like the Barras, and I had friends that seen them in the fucking cat house and shit like that. Well, even bands like Trivium, I saw Trivium in uh fuck, just down for the garage. King Tut's. You
You
ever
saw
been King Tut's?
Trivium at King Tut's. God, that must have been intimate.
Just a bit intimate. No, but even then, it wasn't like well known. But it was them. Did you ever listen to 3 Inches of Blood? They got a song
No,
dead. It's almost like orky metal kind of
orc.
thing. But
Okay,
they had
right.
they had like two singers and that. And they were funny. But yeah, I saw them in there and it's just like, oh, yeah, it's cool. Trivia. And the next thing you know, it's like both stadiums. I was just like, fucking hell, man.
I've I've kind of lost track of a lot of bands that I used to listen to. Like I used to listen to a lot of Trivium and all that type of shit. So I kind of but just there's only so many hours in the day for me to listen to metal, basically.
Yeah.
And I checked up on Trivium, and I'm like, fuck, those guys are really big. Like they're like that's no joke. Like
Uh,
I was fucking blown away. I was like just looking at the
Probably.
views. I was like, what? Like that is out of control.
Well, even
Yeah.
just now, Machine Head as well, just out with a new album, and they done like I don't know, like 4 or 5 dates in Scotland,
Whoa.
which is cool. Fuck. And every night they're changing up the set,
Oh, I
like
like
they're
that.
playing stuff. They're playing like ancient shit they've never played in that. They're doing cover songs. They're doing all kinds of shit, man. Any videos of the gigs I seen, like Aberdeen and different places, it looked amazing. And playing just old Machine Head and just aye, it looked like a good time, man.
I
It looks like a
think
proper gigs and that. It looks so good.
I think I've heard a little bit of Machine Head, but let me. I heard one of the. I think this was when I was still reading like Metal Hammer or Kerrang magazine or
Oh
something.
yeah. I've got Metal Hammers coming out my house, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I've got. I don't know where all them went. Actually, I should probably try and look that up. But let's
You
see
just
if
go
I
to the
can.
toilet and give me 2 seconds.
Hi, cool. Oh shit! Now I've just got to fill dead airtime. Oh my god, God, what a cunt that guy is. Eh? I'm just joking. I'm just joking. You know I love him. Aye, Locust. That was it. 10 years ago. What the actual fuck, dude? I thought something like this might happen, but I was thinking I could edit it out, but then editing. Nah, that's not how it goes. That is just not how it goes. I really, really hope he's not taking a shit.
Oh, 2 seconds.
What up, dude?
Got me a message here. Mm.
Your video's disappeared.
Yeah, I'll be 2 seconds, man. I'm just sending him a message.
It's all good, mate. It's all good. Boom.
Well, so
There he is.
uh,
Yeah,
well,
it was
I
a
might need,
machine.
I was
Sorry,
gonna
go on.
say to you that I might need to nip out to the shop soon. If you are able to like cut this and then we'll start it up again, like maybe 2 parts or something.
I should be able to do that. I mean, well, I mean,
Uh,
I can just upload it in 2 parts. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
if you need to lip out, we can just call this part one.
I'll literally be like 10 minutes
Yeah,
whenever
yeah, that's cool.
we do.
Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the first part of the first part of this podcast. I hope you've enjoyed it, and yeah, part two will be dropping imminently, dude. I'll catch you in a wee bit, mate.
Happy days. Is that you done?